Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That's more like it. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society of Bangor. Although I am in my Obi-Wan Kenobi costume here, I still am the Reverend Drew Moeller. And it is a pleasure to have you here with us in the sanctuary. We have all kinds of ghosts and goblins and princesses and witches here. It's kind of an exciting place to be. And we also welcome those of you who are joining us today on Zoom. It is great to have you here with us as well. If you are joining us today for the first time, we hope that you will stay after the service and attend our coffee hour. It's an opportunity for you to mix with all of our costumed guests today and also get to know members of our congregation a little bit better. We're always glad to have people visiting us today. Before we go into announcements, I just want to recognize and hold a space. We'll be lighting a candle a little bit later on in the service, but this has been a hard week, a really, really, really hard week. And so one of the things that I've decided to do that after the service, I was going to do a presentation on my meditation retreat while on sabbatical, but I've decided not to do that. And I'm going to invite anybody who wishes to come into the sanctuary or stay in the sanctuary, and we'll form a little circle and just have a space where people can speak what's on their minds, a place to hold some of the things that we are feeling right now. So feel free to hang out after the service for that. We have quite a few announcements this morning, so we're going to start with Sue McKay. Sue, what's going on?
Okay, everybody. Hey, let's make me a little louder. That's better. Sue McKay needs to be loud. Next week, next Sunday, is the kickoff to our Great Getaway Raffle. This is our largest fundraiser of the year. For those of you who aren't familiar with how it works, please see me out in the fellowship hall following the service, and I will explain details to you. But basically, we're limiting the number of tickets this year to 800. It was 1,000 last year. We are having 2 prize winners. The first prize winner will be up to $3,500 in value. The second one will be up to $1,500 in value. And you can enjoy any of these prizes regardless of the number, whether you're winner number 1 or winner number 2. Some of the getaways, we've actually designed packages for you this year. One of them is the Great Wolf Lodge, which is an indoor water park in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. It's huge. Imagine taking your family there. Another one, LL Bean Outdoor Discovery Tours. They're guided tours. They go for a certain number of days, depending on which one you want, and they're great for adults in particular. Samoset, you can go to the Samoset. Stay, depending on how long you want to, up to the value of your prize. If you've ever been to Quebec City, you know the Frontenac. It's that big, huge chateau that sits on the hill. You can go there, and we will help you. New York City, if you decide you'd like to go to New York City, maybe take in a show or two, we can help you with that. And if you don't like any of those, you can design your own. So please see me after the service. The tickets go on sale next Sunday. Thank you.
I get my sound back. Here we go. Thank you, Sue. And did you do that all in one breath? That was pretty amazing. So we've got quite a few other announcements. I'll try to go through them fairly as briefly as I can. Today is a deadline for gift basket themes. Kathy Elliott, if you've got a gift basket that you want to put together for the holiday gift basket auction, talk to Kathy and she will make sure that she gets your name and concept down. You've still got time to put the basket together. Next Sunday, we have from 9:30 to 12:30 our New to UU class put on by our Membership Fellowship Committee. Saturday. This is Saturday. And this is an opportunity for people who are new to the congregation or people who have been coming for a little while but want to know a little bit more about the congregation. A wonderful opportunity to learn about how we do things, how we get along here. So please come to that. And who is taking a sign up for that? Christine. So contact the office. Christine in the office will take your reservation for that. Next Sunday, just a reminder that you want to turn your clocks back an hour because you've all been so good. You get an extra hour to sleep in. On November 15th, join the local social action committee and FLIA for the Solidarity Harvest team. Folks are going over to Food and Medicine to help start preparing the baskets for the Solidarity Harvest, where they, Suzanne, how many baskets do they give out every year? It's like 1,800 or something. That's a lot. Right. So the idea is that if you want to participate, you can either go to Food and Medicine directly, or there'll be a bunch of people who've started the tradition of riding the bus over to Food and Medicine and back. So look for the details in the e-news. Fall cleanup will be happening on Saturday, November 18th. Is there somebody from Buildings and Grounds? Is there anything else that needs to be shared with that? Okay, so we show up here. At what time? 8 o'clock. And wear your working garb. And there will be people who will direct you to work on different projects to get our building ready for winter. Today, Pat, we've got the sign-ups for, no? It'll happen next week. Okay. So November 23rd, Thanksgiving Day, we'll be having a community meal here, Thanksgiving dinner at 2 p.m. Look for sign-up sheets in the Dorothy next week. We hope as many people can come as possible. We already have a couple people who have signed up. With that said, I'll just encourage you to look at your Sunday bulletin and also at the weekly e-news for further announcements. This is only a small fraction of them, but okay. The UUA Common Book books have arrived, so if you have signed up to receive one of those this is a book that we read as a congregation. We'll have some discussion on later on, and if you haven't gotten a book, you can get that too. I think Joni is got the books for that. Oh, that was a lot. So let us just take a moment to take a deep breath or two. Come into this space, feel the energy, and let us begin with our morning's introit.
Spirit on the wind, please come to me. Be with me tonight as the veil grows thin. Breathe through me. Bless me with
Good morning. I'm Lori Cartier. I am sharing the leader position today for the Samhain ceremony that we're doing, and I just wanted to welcome you all as well. Today's service is I got a cataracts done. I just had one, and so I'm having this challenge, and I might have to go like this to read my script. So I apologize for that, especially you guys on Zoom have to look at me like this. But anyway, I'll do the best I can. So today's service is a ritual for Samhain, which is the Celtic New Year. And so we're going to start with an acknowledgement that we're worshiping and living on unceded Wabanaki land. And as I open the circle, please think about that as I say these words. By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her sweet breath, by the fire of her bright spirit and the water of her living womb, our circle is cast and we are between the worlds. And what happens between the worlds changes the world. Blessed be. Now I'd like to invite the children to come down to the rug. And you guys are going to help me do the chalice lighting like we did last year. Only this year we're not using fire, we have electric candles. So what we need you to do, I'll let everybody get down here first. Oh, Wednesday, oh my goodness. So look at you all, you just look so ready for your hullabaloo. Are you ready for your hullabaloo? Yeah, yeah. So what I'd like to do, I can't, how many of you are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, it's about 20 of you. So what I'd like to do is we have directions that we are going to be honoring by lighting the candles in the circle of life. And so I'd like to have 5 people come over here and stand by the east. And then I want, you can start, come on up. If you want to be east, come on up. And then when we have 5, we'll stop. Okay, 1 more, or 2 more. Okay, you guys are the east. Now we have the south, and the south is right in front. And if you want to be in the south, just sit down right on the floor in front so everybody can see what's going on. Oh, you look fabulous. Anybody else want to be south? South, so east is the sunrise. The south is the full sunlight. The west is the sunset. And then I'm standing in the north, and that's the night. So if anybody wants to be the west, we have the sunset over here. I need 4 or 5 people over here. Carolyn, I'm going to ask you to be spirit. Would you light the chalice for me this morning? Okay, so you can stand somewhere. Okay, then we have the north. Who wants to be north? This is the dark. This is the night up here where I'm standing. So come up here if you want to be, oh, you switched. You switched. You're going to be, okay, come on. Dear, dear, dear. Boy, I'm so sorry. Thank you for keeping me from falling down. Please don't trip on that. Does anybody else want to be up here? Okay, so what happens is each direction has a candle. So the person closest to the candle, you know how to use these, you just switch them on and off? Okay, so each person who is closest to a candle, you can switch that on, but what I need to do first is I need to call that direction. And I'm gonna say some words for each direction, and then we'll say, hail and welcome direction. So if you're in the east, I want you to throw your arms up and say, hail and welcome east.
Hail and welcome east.
Good practice. Then the south will do it, and then the west, and then the north, and then we'll all do it for spirit. How does that sound? Sound okay? Everybody kind of understand what I'm talking about? Oh, all right, here we go. Here we go. So we've got the east, all right? We welcome you east, the direction of new beginnings and the sunrise. Your element of air, which is by that feathers there, shows you air, brings us life. This is the Celtic New Year, and we honor the importance of your energies in our ritual today. So somebody light that candle. Wednesday, can you light the candle? All right, now East, here we go. Hail and welcome East. Good. And you guys can all hail and welcome as well. We want to share that with everybody, okay? Now, you guys can go sit down, East. Now we have the South, which I think is represented by this beautiful section down here. So you can stand up now if you want to, so we can see you better. Shininess and whiteness and pinkness. You don't want to? You can sit. That's okay. We welcome you south, the direction of passions and the full sunrise. Your element of fire lights our way as the days darken. You bring to us abundance and the final harvest of this year's bounty. So now we're going to go, hail and welcome south. Hail and welcome south. Good job. So south's already sitting, so they don't need to sit down. West. Oh, we got a bunch in the west here. We welcome you west, the direction of insight and receptivity, the sunset. Oh, she didn't light the candle. I'm sorry, I forgot to cue you. Okay, thank you. Too many things to think of. May your element of water allow us to flow with this ritual, and may this aid our connections to our ancestors today. So West, are you ready? Hail and welcome West. Hail and welcome West. Thank you. All right, West, you can sit down. Now North, home of the ancestors, darkness and winter. We honor your element of earth. You remind us that at this time, life is returning to the earth to await a rebirth in spring. So now, did you light your candle? Good. Now you ready? Hail and welcome North. Blessed be. All right, now, Carolyn. Where's my thing? So, we acknowledge all above and all below, and we ask only gentle, loving spirits to be with us today. And now let us light our chalice. So, perfect. Okay. And honor the spirit of Samhain, the start of the Celtic year, a time of honoring our ancestors. At this turn of the wheel, the veil between us is thin, and the spirit realm is the thinnest, easing communications between the world of the living and the world of the dead. We light our sacred UU chalice to represent the connections we have with spirit in all its forms. Blessed be. You ready? Hail and welcome spirit. Blessed be. Thank you so much for helping me with that. It's such an important part of our ritual. Now, I am going to turn this over to Reverend Drew because he has some stuff for you.
So first, into this beautiful circle that we've created of all the directions and spirit, I want to light a candle for all the families and the victims of the shooting this week. May we hold them in our hearts and our prayers, and continue to work for a world with a lot less violence. Blessed be. So now, on a little bit more joyous note, I wanted to talk to you, and I'm just going to kneel down here for a moment. So today, I see that you are all kind of dressed up in different costumes, and I couldn't resist the temptation to do the same thing because it's kind of fun. But this tradition goes way, way back to our Celtic ancestors who believed that by dressing up in disguises and going around to people's homes and asking them for treats, that there was a way that helped celebrate our connection with ancestors, with people who have gone long before. These ancestors that we know of in our Celtic tradition go back, a couple thousand years, long time. And so your participation in this keeps that tradition going a long way. And I have to admit that today I've put a little trick in the mix. Yeah, because today, usually I tell a story, right? But today I'm going to ask if you would treat us with your presence as we go for a little march around the sanctuary so that people can see all the really cool costumes that you're wearing. Will you help me do that? Are you all about that? Yeah. All right. What? I saw you without your helmet on, but when you're wearing it, I wouldn't know. I would have thought you were ready to. I would say a pumpkin with a mask, but then you look like your hands are like a rabbit.
She's a skeleton.
A skeleton?
No, I'm a skeleton with a pumpkin.
Ah, a skeleton with a pumpkin head. So I wasn't too far off. All right. So with that, I'm going to cue our maestro, and I'll ask you to follow me around the sanctuary. All right? Come on, let's do it. Invite you to go downstairs for the Halloween hullabaloo, and may the force be with you. Oh, that is fun to be young again, even for about 2 minutes. Is good. It's good. Yeah. So now, I'm just trying to see we're offertory, yes? Hey, you're up. Okay.
Come up and then you're up.
Okay.
Oh, offering. You need to do the offering. Are you going to do that or am I?
Music.
Special music. I don't have my thing in front of me. Remember that I can't hear anything today?
Ancestors
Thank you, choir. I always love that song. That's a really, really great song. So now is a time in our service when we collect our offertory. This is our kind of mode of trick-or-treating today to support our beloved community. As is our custom, half of what we collect in the plate today will be shared with a group in our community who is doing what we feel to be really great work that supports our UU values, and this month we are supporting the Bangor Area Recovery Network. So we invite you to give from your hearts and with all your generosity. So with that, let's... It is with gratitude that we receive this morning's offering to support this beloved community and the Bangor Area Recovery Network. Thank you. I now invite you to rise in body or in spirit to sing our opening song.
We give birth in
think that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Thank you, Ina. So, this morning we are looking at our ancestors and our ancestral or spiritual homes. How our ancestors and our ancestral line, or even ancestors we don't even know about, might reflect how we feel about home and where we feel home. So I think most of you know I was born in San Diego, so my first experience of home was with my direct lineage ancestors in that part of the country. It was comforting to me somehow knowing that I'm a fourth generation native Californian, even though I broke the line. And my ancestors first came to California during the gold rush in the 1840s. Then in 1969, I met and married a man from Boston who was in the Air Force. I was willingly uprooted from California and spent time in first Germany, which was comfortable, but it didn't feel like home. And then in Omaha, Nebraska, which is probably the least home-like place I've ever even been, much less have to live for 7 years. Oh, I did not like Omaha. And kind of like I call it the most foreign country I've ever been to. And so then I moved to St. Ives, England, in Cambridgeshire. It's 13 miles north of Cambridge. There's 2 St. Ives, so you may know about the one in Cornwall. But wow, when I got to England, that's when the ancestral spirits in my lineage started calling me home. We toured all over the country and Scotland, and my paternal lineage is from Scotland, and my maternal lineage is English and Eastern European. And so now it has to be Western European, doesn't it? Anyway, so the more we explored around England, the more I felt this home feeling. And when we went to Glastonbury, I don't know if you know, but they have a tour there and a castle, and a lot of ancient pagan ritual was done there in a big way. And before probably there's a cathedral there, so it's probably before the cathedral was built on top of it all. But oh, I could feel it. I wasn't aware yet. I didn't know that I was pagan. I didn't know what my spirituality was. I just knew, finally, after leaving Christianity when I was 16, I finally knew that there was a way to be other than just living on the earth, that there was something that was spiritually pulling me and guiding me, and that really felt like home. I've gone off script. So many of you, I came back to the States, we moved to Bangor. Many of you know, shortly after I moved to Bangor, I was, quote unquote, hit over the head by a cosmic 2x4, and I got cancer. So one episode I was fine, I had surgery, I was fine, but then I had a recurrence that really was, I was very close to death, and somehow radiation treatment helped me recover from that. But I found a group of people who were also recovering from cancer and other serious illnesses called Hope. Some of you may remember I did a whole service about Hope, so I'm not going to go into that too deeply. But Hope really became my home. I really found that that's where I was the most comfortable, and my healing really came a lot from that group. So, so we're talking about connecting to home, and I have to say, that Hope was my home. Then Spirit started to rush me all over the state of Maine. I went through a series of events that I was so empowered. I was able to divorce my alcoholic husband. I found women with wings, 30 years ago. I found UUSB because Wings was downstairs, so I went, oh, what's upstairs? So I came upstairs and found this to be a spiritual place that welcomed me openly. And And then I was guided to live around the state of Maine. So I went to work for Hope, the organization that had my Hope group, and I lived in South Paris for a while. And that was a lovely place. I had a family there of people that I sang with and did ritual with. And so that was home-like, but not my home. Then I moved to Southport and Booth Bay. And I have to say that that's where I learned to continue my spiritual growth through fun and drumming and kayaking in the ocean. I really spent a wonderful 6 years of just allowing Spirit to guide me and be in this amazing place. But again, even though I very feel connected to the ocean, this was not a place that specifically felt like home for me. So then I moved back to Bangor. Wow, back to Women with Wings, back to church, back to choir, back to all the things that I do here that fill my spirit so completely. And I just knew and know that this is home. Some 3,000 or whatever it is miles away from where I started, I really find Maine and Bangor to be my home. And water. Maine has water. I connect with so strongly because growing up in California, and in that day, Smokey the Bear was going, only you can prevent forest fires, and it was nowhere near as bad as it is now. I was still scared to death that I was going to be the one that was going to cause a fire. So it's so nice to be where there's water, where there's so much less likelihood of any fire issues. So in this time when the veil is thin and ancestral spirits are so close, I love to think that they had a hand in guiding me. I usually say I got out of the way and let the universe lead me wherever I needed to be. And now again, about 3,000 miles away from where I started, I find that Bangor is my home with a capital H. Here I have found my amazing connections to UUSB, Women with Wings, and that keeps me spiritually full and grounded. My children and grandchildren are here. My sister has moved here, so I find I'm gathering to me those things that help me feel this real sense of home. I just feel so blessed. Blessed be. Okay.
About a year ago, a friend asked me, "What is your definition of home?" They asked me this question because in the same conversation, I had referred to Detroit, to Michigan, to Lake Huron, to Bangor, to Maine, to this congregation, and to my sailboat as being home. In their question, I understood the confusion. Where is home? It's a question that I think we all ask ourselves from time to time, and as Lori talked about, that answer sometimes changes. At this stage in my life, I find this question a little harder to answer. When my parents were still alive, my answer to this question of where home was, it was the place where my mother and father lived. But now they are gone. The concept of what home is has taken on a very new meaning. There are physical places that I associate with home, but time has changed those associations. Now the association of my childhood home is just a memory. It remains a special place that connects me to my parents, and my parents, two of the very few people in my life who know me intimately and loved me unconditionally. But the home that I grew up in, the house that my grandfather built himself, is no longer home to me. Now is a home to someone else. For the last year, I've been contemplating what home means to me. It is a place, or is it a place, an environment, a mood, a person, or something else? What I've come away with is that home is more than a physical place where others live. It's a place that connects one to the people and the things that they love. I am at home on the water because it connects me with my dad, who taught me how to sail. I feel at home whenever I sit down with a cuppa and write letters to my deceased mother to fill her in on the things that are going on, or to recall an event in my life that triggered her memory. In my ever-evolving definition of home, I also see that the wisdom and the teachings that I have received from loved ones and other wise people feel like home too. As I continue growing into my Unitarian Universalist and now Buddhist faiths, I find a feeling of home in practicing those faiths and the wisdom of the teachers of those faiths that those faiths have left behind. It's not a place, it's a mind state. A place of interconnection and intimacy, connection and wholeness. That is home. Many of our ancient ancestors believe that this time of year, the veil between this world and whatever comes next is very thin and fragile. It is a time that is very auspicious for connecting to our ancestors, which can be a warm and comforting thing if one has a strong, loving connection. It can be kind of awkward and scary for those who are haunted by their ancestors, who were not so kind, or who struggled with their own demons and caused harm to those they left behind. And as I'm saying that, I think of all the people who lost people in this last week. I also really think a lot about the shooter's family and what that must be like for them. Well, part of me feels like home and connection with wisdom of our ancestors is something that we can all experience at any time of year. I confess that there is something about this time of year that does seem very auspicious for renewing our connection with our ancestors. The intense beauty and grandeur of the changing leaves reflecting the sun at a very low angle. This reminds us of the immense beauty of our loved ones and the ones who have gone before. It reminds us of the cycle of life and eventually our own mortality. And in the cool, crisp mornings, where the warmth of the earth contrasts with the cooling air and creates a mist that amplifies far-off sounds that come to us in muffled whispers, like far-off spirits that can be heard but not seen. If we listen, and listen carefully in those moments of shifting light and mist, of bright color and gray, where our senses are indeed heightened, may we open our hearts to feel the presence of the ancestors calling us into ongoing connection and home. Blessed be. Amen.
So our ritual today is one of connecting with our loving ancestors to receive a message for the Celtic New Year as they help us identify and connect with our spiritual or ancestral home. Those of you on Zoom, you can participate fully in in guided imagery. You'll want a candle to light at the end. And as we share energies here in the sanctuary, we include your energy as well. We are one. Blessed be. Now, sit back in your seats and take a few deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. You may want to close your eyes. Feel your body relax. Every kink, every ache in a muscle, let it go. Just let it fall down into that pew that you're sitting in. Now allow your feet to be planted firmly on the floor. And breathe into your feet and feel roots burrowing deep past the lower levels of the building you're in and into the earth below. Feel the energy of the lower realm in only the most positive way. Now bring that energy up into your feet and your calves, your thighs, into your torso, down your arms, back up to your neck, all the way to the top of your head. As it reaches the top of your head, let this earth energy fly forth into the energies of the upper realm. Allow them to mingle. Allow them to share what they need you to know. Now, notice that your ancestors are enjoying that mingling energy. And draw it down into you again. Feel the energies mingling inside of you. Know that this excites your ancestors, the ones we are calling to be with us today in only the most positive way. Breathe in, breathe out. Enjoy this energy within. The veil is thin and our ancestors are close. Relax into this knowing. Breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe, be aware of a spirit before you, your ancestor guide. Take a moment to say hello and thank them for being with you today. Now, allow them to guide you down a beautiful woodsy path. Leaves are blowing, the air is crisp, and the time of connection and knowing is nigh. As you follow the path, notice the amazing gifts nature has to give you as you pass by her trees. Perhaps you notice a brook or river or the ocean, a rocky ledge or a fragrant meadow, all readying themselves as they prepare to return to the mother for the cold time. Grasses will die back, leaves will fall and become to burrowing, hibernating insects. The sap will return to the roots. All will become quiet. Now is the time of transition. Now is the time for connections. Now your ancestor guide invites you to join them in a wonderful experience to find your ancestral or spiritual home. Unexpectedly, you feel yourself being led to rise into the air with your ancestor. You rise up into the trees and out into the autumn air above. The sun is shining down on you. You are light and fully able to look around with no fear. Enjoy looking down on the trees, perhaps out to the ocean or down the river. Take a moment with this joyous view. Your ancestor wants to take you on a journey through time and space and show you that place that is your ancestral or spiritual home. Feel yourself starting to move as they guide you until you are now truly flying. Some may need to journey far, some may find their journey shorter, but as you soar, know that your destination is a safe, welcoming place just for you. As you arrive at your destination, a deep sense of comfort descends upon you. You know you are where you are meant to be. In this place of your ancestral or spiritual home, perhaps you have been there before. Perhaps it is completely new to you. Either way, you find this deep peace in being right there, right now. Now look around. Oh, what joy! You find a group of loving ancestors who are here to bring your loving wishes from beyond. Take a moment now and spend time with these ancestors here in your spiritual home. Listen to what they have to tell you. Messages for the new year, messages of love and peace. Messages to guide you to be the best ancestor of tomorrow that you can be. And now your time with these ancestors is coming to a close. For now, you know that the connection to your ancestors and your ancestral home is complete. Feel the strength in this knowing. Feel the connection to your ancestor and beyond to all in the room and all our extended travelers on Zoom, and then to all that is. Take a moment to be with this feeling of strength and knowing. Now wave goodbye to your ancestors for now. Thank them for guiding and being with you. Know that they are there whenever you need them. And with a difficult question, or just when you have a need to be connected, just ask them to come. They will. They love that. So now, take another deep breath and breathe out. And when you are ready, open your eyes and return to the room. Welcome back. You're all blessed with wonderful messages from your ancestors and insights into your ancestral or spiritual home. I ask that all of you now, I mean, if you were here last year, we're doing it similarly. Can we move the, we need to move this forward. Thank you, Reverend Drew. So what you're going to do is you're going to come forward and you're going to each light a candle for your ancestor or the honoring your ancestral home. You can do more than one person at a time. You can say the name of your ancestor when you light your candle. We're not going to talk all out into the room because we just don't have time, but chalice would have been good. But we are now just going to come forward, and then after we get our candle lit, let's come out and form a circle around the room so that we can complete our ritual. So please come forward. Phyllis will help you. You could have lit a candle. Come on, don't hesitate, just come on up. We're not doing this formally one by one. Everybody can come up at once. And then as you light your candle and put it in the sand, we'll just start a big circle. Four or five people can do this at the same time. People come all the way around the sand. I know it feels weird, but I hope we have good enough candles. Look at everybody. Hey. You gonna light Mom's candle? Can she hear?
No, and I can't stand long enough to do this. My feet are up. 'Around to the, just, if you haven't lit your candle, come on around. Oh my goodness, look at the bowl. Seek and say and do, and all our children's children will have their chance to pray to you. As we live and breathe today, we give birth in every moment.
Here it is. Can you hear me okay? So I was, because you guys just automatically held hands, or maybe I just automatically held hands with Linda and so everybody followed me, but I wanted to show you something that really helps the energy move, and that is to take your left hand with your palm up and your right hand with your palm down, and then go like this. And then you are going to connect with the person next to you. Hold hands, if you will, and this sends this energy flow. It's kind of like a wave, but when you're in a circle, the wave just keeps going around and around. So know that as we have come into this circle, honoring our ancestors, being a little bit closer to knowing where our ancestral home is, or what it is, or where it is, or I hope you've even found something new. Just know that that energy is moving around this room, and we are just really, really right in the middle of enjoying all of that. So blessed be. I do have a script here. I have to walk forward. Okay. So we did that already. So welcome to the closing circle, and we already did that. I don't really need a script, do I? So, and while we're doing this, just look around the circle at this beautiful group of people who is our spiritual home. I hope you feel that as deeply as I do. If you haven't yet, I hope that this draws you and comforts you and brings you peace in this time of turmoil in the world. We need to have each other. We need to be together. We need to know that we're safe. Just feel that. Feel the peace. I don't know if I have anything more that's important, but I'll look. I know, we have to close the circle. Who's saying what? Oh, my goodness. We have little glass marbles and glass stones on this altar. They have been here for the last 3 rituals that I have performed. Every time I have meant to say, please take one with you. Draw that energy. They are holding it all. Take it with you as you head back to your home, your house home, which I hope feels like home. So right now, what we're going to do, maybe I can ask Linda to help me with this, is we are going to close the directions and the circle. And so we will release the ancestors, the directions, and the spirits who have joined us. So we will start in the north, and we will turn that candle off, the one that's right in front of you, Kathy. Thank you. North, we release you and thank you for being with us. And then we do the west. Maybe Tom could do the west. And west, we release you and thank you for being with us. Maybe Leanne would step forward. Thank you. South, we release you and thank you for being with us. East, we release you and thank you for being with us. Go if you must, stay if you will. Blessed be. And finally, we extinguish our chalice. This is somebody with oh, that's good. The breath. The sacred chalice flame, which has been representing the spirit of Samhain and our ancestors. We release you and thank you for being with us. We ask that you stay close and share your wisdom freely as we need it. Blessed be. So now please join in a traditional chant and dance to close the circle. Many of you have done ritual with us before, and it's the same thing every time. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. So we'll sing it through 3 times. It is on screen if that's helpful, but you know. Yay, there you go, long arms, okay. Okay, the circle be open.
Broken, may the peace of the gods be ever in your hearts.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you. Now, you can go in and enjoy fellowship hour. Don't forget your stone. Don't forget your stone or your marble. No, that's holding incredibly good energy from all these rituals. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us.